So in my last video, I showed you some practical setup of network using routers and switch. So we are going to be using packet tracer. Cisco packet tracer is a network simulator where you can get you can easily learn networking from, and it work as if it is real life situation, you understand. So we are going to set up some systems. um yep, so we have a system here. So we want to create two different network and then configure the two network to communicate with each other. So we have a network in this part and then another network in this direction here. All right, so we want to make these two network to communicate with each other by the help of router. So we're going to be using a router to connect the two network together. Okay, so this is a switch. You can see this is a Cisco switch. So let's take another switch to this other part of the network. Alright, so let's quickly connect all the system to the switch. So you can see this is a desktop computer. So let's click on this and click on this. Let's connect this to the switch and then this to the switch and then this to the switch. You can see they are trying to establish connection with the switch. So let's connect this part of the network to, and then this and then this. Alright, so we are going to give this network a different IP arrangement. So the IP address is going to be on class C, while this one is going to be on class B. So let me use a note here to indicate the IP address we are going to associate to them. To set IP address to a computer, you need to go to desktop and then you will see the IP configuration, right? So this IP configuration here, this DHCP represents dynamic host control protocol. It is when the system is using default IP address associated to it or assigned to it by a router or any switch that is connected to. You understand? So if you are using static, that means you want to set your own IP address personally for that particular computer. So what IP are we having here? Okay, 192.168.0. So let's put it here, 192.168.0. So let's copy that. So the subnet mask is IP class C. You can see there are three of the subnet. So the subnet mask is IP class C. So the default gateway is the IP address of the switch, which is 192.168.0.1 over there. So you can see that. So we are all set with this particular computer. So let's go to PC2. Okay, there is PC1. Let's go to PC0, which is 192.168.0.20. So there's a shortcut here. Just click on, okay, no, sorry, not here, IP configuration. So here we have 20 and then the subnet mask is .1. Alright, so we are all set for this also. So let's go right here and and configure this one as well. So this is 30, so 192.168.0.30. then the subnet mask is IP class C, and right here. So let's close this. So in this other part, we're going to search for it also. So what do we have there? 162.124.0.10. so this is IP class B. You can see there are 2 of the network and 2 of the node, so that is IP class B. So the subnet mask is the IP address of the switch, which represent the whole network, which is 162.124.0.1, as you can see. All right, so have we done for this? Okay, so this is .0.20, and then the subnet mask .1, sorry, default gateway. Then for this last computer here, let's configure it as well. So this is .0.30, and then the default gateway is this. So we are all set. The whole IP address has been assigned to the 2 network. So what differentiates this network is a class of the IP address, or the arrangement of the IP address. You can see each of the IP address has since this is class C, that means the 3 part of the IP address must be the same with every computer, every device on the network. So here we have 192.168.0. so these 3 octa, sorry, the 3 first octa must be the same for each device on the network. So this one too, you can see 162.124 and 0. This one need 2 because it's class B, so just these 2 need to be the same, the rest doesn't need to be the same. So just 162 and 124 must be the same for every device on the network. So the node can change, but the network part cannot change. Here as well is class C, so 3 needs to be the same here. The node can change, but the network part cannot change. So if we connect this system together, they can't communicate with each other because they're on different network, so you can't connect them together. So we need a router. That is when a router comes in. So that is the usefulness of a router. Okay, so this is a straight through cable, whereas you need to connect the switch to the router. You can see that it is showing red till the router is well configured. Then these 2 networks can actually communicate with each other. So that is what we are going to be doing today. We'll be configuring this router to allow the 2 networks to communicate with each other. Alright, welcome back again. If you watched the last video where we set up the whole network, you understand how the network was made and how we were able to set it up. So this network rely on a particular IP arrangement, while this one too, they are on a particular IP arrangement that is different from this. So they can't communicate with each other because they are not on the same network. So this one is on class C IP address. In my next class, in my next tutorial, I'm going to show you the difference between class A IP address, class B IP address, and class C IP address, so that you understand it very well. So just subscribe to this channel and make sure you hit the bell icon so that you can get every video that comes up next. Alright, so to configure an IP address, to configure a network, you need to configure the router. So at this point, you need to log into the router. Now every router, this router is using 2 Ethernet ports, or let's say the host. There are 2 hosts. This is host 1 and this is host 2 right here. So this is host 2 and this is host 1. Okay, so this one is connected to a particular port and this one too is connected to another port. So you can see right here that there are different ports it or something. So if you log into your PuTTY, you can actually log into the CLI of the PuTTY by using the the console cable. So here is a console cable. Is a green cable that you use to connect. You connect one port of it to the console port of the router, and then you connect the other end to the COM port of your computer. So there are so many modern computers does not have COM ports, but if you are using an old system, then you can use it on it, or you can use modern console cables that use USB cord. So there are so many modern console cable that you can get from the market that use USB cord. So once you are here, let's press enter. So we are now in the router. To log into the router, we'll type our enable. It will take us. Alright, before you start anything, you need to recognize whether this system this interface is, or this network is on Ethernet 00, or whether it's on Ethernet 01. So recognize whether this one is 00, or this one is 00, or this one is 01, or this one is 01. So you need to know for sure. So by clicking on the wire, it will actually come out. So you can see this gigabyte 00. So this particular network here is on 00. So if you put your mouse on this gigabyte 01, so it has shown. So we have known for sure now. Alright, to log into the network, we'll say enable, en for enable, or you can press tab to write it in full. So we have logged into the router. The next thing we need to do if we're on the router is to put the configure terminal. So we put configure T, stands for configure terminal. Now we have logged into the configuration of the router. So now we can configure the router. But before then, we want to configure an interface. So we need to make use of that particular interface. So by typing interface, gigabyte, right, that is 00. You can see now that this IF stands for interface. That means you have logged into a particular interface, and the particular interface we've logged into is gigabyte 00. That is, if you look into your diagram, that is this network here. So we're going to add this particular IP address 192.168.0.1. We're going to add it to this particular interface. So to do that, you put your IP add or IP address, then you type the IP address 192.168.0.1. so the IP address you are entering here must be the IP address of the router, of the switch, which represents the default gateway. So the default gateway IP address is what you put when you are configuring your router, right? So don't put the IP address of any of the system on the network, rather the default gateway IP address. Then the next thing to write is to write the subnet mask. The subnet mask of this particular IP address is 255.255.255.0, and then press enter. So let's be looking at the image. Sorry for that. Alright, so this image is going to change once we save our setting. You save the setting by typing the command no shutdown. So no shutdown will now save the setting that you have made. Oh, sorry, the spelling of my shutdown is not correct. Okay, so you can see now that the state is up. This one have turned green, so it's trying to establish connection between the network and this particular interface. So let's wait for it. Okay, so while we wait for it, let's try to configure this particular one here. So we have to log out of the network. So by logging out, you want to log out, just type exit. So we have logged out of the interface. We need to now log into this interface 01. So type inter for interface gigabyte 01. So this interface gigabyte 01, you can see if has been shown. That means we have logged into that interface. So what we need to do here now is to configure the IP address of this interface to the router. So we are going to be typing IP add. That is a short form for IP address. So enter the default gateway IP address, which is 162.124.0.1. Then the default gateway is the subnet mask is 255.255.0.0. then no shutdown. So we are up and running. You can see it's also establishing connection. This one, the connection has been established. So let's wait for this. Okay, it has been established. The connection has been established. So the two networks are connected successfully. For us to be sure, we need to ping one of the computer in this network, whether they are going to communicate with each other. So let's take this computer here, then let's ping this one here. So go to our terminal. Okay, let's use command prompt. First of all, ipconfig to see our IP address. So this is the IP address and this is the default gateway right here. So we are pinging this computer here. So ping 162.124.0.20. So let's wait for it. Yeah, so you can see that it has been connected successfully. So if you run it again, it will ping without wasting time. Alright, so it sent 4 packets and it got replies of 4 packets, and 0 packet was lost. That means no packet was lost. So our connection is successful. Alright, thank you for watching this video. Please, I would love you to subscribe to this channel. At least that is the least you can do. Please subscribe to this channel, share this video, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, and thank you again.